It looks like Olivia has a question. If you want to unmute yourself and ask, go ahead.
Hi, Bess, I'm curious if a lot of the growers in the Bitterroot region and Missoula, if there are ways that you're able to communicate with other flower growers to see sort of what the needs are and maybe, just not trying to compete with other growers in the area for the same commodities. And also kind of how would you then prioritize what your growing needs and what flower varieties you're going to prioritize to meet the demands that aren't already being met?
That's a great question. I think a big factor that was a part of the workshop that I took was kind of getting out of the scarcity mentality of feeling, threatened by other growers or, other people doing flower farming as well, because truly there is enough for everybody and people love flowers. They want flowers. There's a huge demand for flowers. So the more the merrier. And I think your sales avenues are really going to depend on what's going to be right for you. So I don't have a ton of land, so my priorities are going to be trying to get the most bang for my buck out of the limited number of flowers that I can produce throughout the season. So I'm going to go for higher ticket sales like my CSA, custom orders, and weddings. If I had, a lot more land, it could produce a lot more product. I would probably go into more wholesale. I do a little bit of wholesale as well, but it just kind of depends on what's right for you. And, if you don't love interacting with the public a ton, I wouldn't suggest the farmer's market because you're going to be chatting with folks all day long. So if you would rather, just produce a ton of just beautiful flowers, get them out the door and go on to the next thing, wholesale might be a great option for you. I love the CSA because I get to, make bouquets every week, and then I get to see like a really cool group of folks like once a week and hand them their flowers, chat and catch up, and then, get back to the farm. So that works really well for me. There's a lot of different avenues that you can go down for flowers. Some folks are doing edible flowers for restaurants. There's tons that you can do in wedding. Like wedding is kind of a whole nother animal. So I just do like bulk buckets for weddings. So brides will order by the bucket and then pick up at the farm. I can charge a lot more for that, but certainly not as much as a full service wedding. So there's tiers to that as well. So it really depends on what's right for you and your space and your personality. But I would say the more flower farmers, the merrier, and there's enough for everybody.
Looks like we have one more question for you, Beth. So Bethany, if you'd like to ask your question, you can unmute and go ahead and do that.
Thanks. It was me, Tracy, who asked the question. Confusing on the, who's on the name, whatever. Bess, I was curious if you think that you'll be able to do a full-time business from the quarter acre that you're on now, or if you will need to expand in order to make that happen logistically. You answered a little bit when you said that you're planning on doing more profitable per square foot or bed foot flowers and specific markets, but I'm curious what your process is in determining when you'll be able to make it full-time.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first factor is getting my loans paid off. So once those kind of are cleared, I think I'll have a better picture of what I can do moving forward. But I think to be able to make it as profitable as possible, I think I'll have to kind of move more into the wedding realm, because I think that's where the big flower cash cow is. Weddings are huge for flowers, and people are, I think, getting their minds around local product a lot more. So they are excited to get that and to support local farmers. And I think Montana is a great place for destination weddings. You're going to have clients that are willing to pay more too for those flowers. But for me to make farming a full-time venture, I think it's going to be a little bit in the future too. And that will, depend on like my partner's income too, our living situation. So I don't have a good idea of exactly when that could be, but I think a combination of moving into some of like the higher ticket sales avenues, and then kind of getting my expenses, all my loans at least paid off, and kind of tightening the ship up a little bit will give me a better idea for that.
I'm gonna do a little shout out. It's 6 o'clock, it's a little after 6, and if you have to hop off, please fill out the evaluation, but we're gonna continue and ask Beth questions if she's available.
I am.
Great, but yeah, if you have to go, we understand, but we'd love to, we're gonna kind of keep this Q&A rolling because they're still coming in, but yeah.
Mary, this is Dave here. How do folks get to that evaluation if they need to fill it out?
All right, there's a link in the chat right now that you can, and there's a little message there from me that you'll be able to see where you can click. Thank you, Dave. I meant to mention that. And we'll also send it out in an email.
Our next question is from Ashley. Ashley, if you want to unmute and go ahead.
Hi, my question was there anything that you grew that you were super excited about and was just an epic fail? And my other question was, do you have a heated greenhouse, or is it just covered in plastic and no heater at all? And did you start out with a greenhouse or start out just growing things in the ground?
Yeah, so I started out with just growing things in the ground. I didn't get my greenhouse set up until this spring. So it's new for me and it's not heated, but it really, really helps. It's going to be key for season extension and then getting into the ground earlier come next spring too. So highly recommended if you can add a hoop house, even if it's unheated, to your lineup there. And then my epic fails. Going into flower farming, some good advice I got was that you will kill so many plants. You'll kill them and you'll kill them over and over and over again. So get ready to watch a few of your flower babies die. But probably my biggest fail was my peonies. So I didn't do my research well enough, and I realized after I'd planted them that they're actually deer hardy. So I had put them inside the deer fence, and they were taking up some valuable property in there that I could have used for stuff that does need deer protection. So I dug them all up this spring and I replanted them outside of the fence, and they're doing so much better now. I got, some mulching and weed mat going around them as well. So they are much, much happier, and I freed up that space to be used for, other things there.
Any more questions?
Can I ask one quick question? Thanks. Bess, what are the black hoops in your tunnel there? I know the ones in the field, like the conduit, but the black ones I don't know.
They are old mainline. Yeah, that was a hack that I learned from what is it? Bear Mountain Farm. They have tons of videos on YouTube about flower farming. They're a great resource on there. So we decided to replace our main line this year. So we just cut up the main line to make mini hoops.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if there's any last minute questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think we are going to wrap things up. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I want to share our contact information for CFAC. Let's see. Don't forget to fill out the evaluation. It's a little reminder, you'll get entered to win some Patagonia gear. And so that link is in the chat, and we'll also send it out in an email after this. And we also recorded a portion of the field day today, so you will also have access to that as well. Here is myself, Ian, and Dave are all resources for you guys, so please reach out, contact us if you have any questions or would like support with beginning your farm. And yeah, check us out on evansvillecfac.org. Register for the next field day. It's going to be based down in Belgrade, Amalthea vegetable farm, and we're going to learn about really cool vegetable production equipment. Yeah, and also, you know, fill out that evaluation. I want to do a shout out to Beth. Beth, thank you so much. I think everyone learned a lot today. We can do a little silent clap, or you can do if you're really Zoom efficient, you know how to maybe do a reaction and do a clap for a thumbs up. But yeah, thank you so much, Beth. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and yeah, keep in touch, everyone, and we look forward to maybe seeing you at the next field day. Awesome. Thanks, guys.